Hello everybody. So the lighting in here is not fantastic, and that's because it's 6:30 in the morning and the sun is not up yet, so I don't have the best lighting, but I also do my best thinking first thing in the morning. So you're getting an early video. So I want to talk about Dawn dish soap because I feel like Dawn is something that has made its little way into the grooming community. And at first I fell for it, and now I'm going to tell you why I will not use it on a dog anymore. So let's start at the beginning. I'm at my first grooming shop, right? And they said, like, for, like, oh, like, really, really greasy dogs, like a Yorkie, we'll say, they're like, make sure you use the Dawn. I'm like, okay. And I knew because I went to hair school. So just like a little tidbit, okay. And typical, like, really harsh cleansing soaps, basically detergents, like laundry detergents, soaps, all of that, they all basically use like the same thing as surfactant, which is a two-part molecule. One side is oil loving, the other side is water loving. Sorry, let me turn my phone off. And they work together to create this like push-pull, and they pull the oil out of the hair, out of, off of your dishes or whatever they're cleaning. So I knew by using this really harsh surfactant, which was Dawn, that I would need to condition after. So I was doing it, I was conditioning after, no big deal. Our dogs were coming in with terrible hair, terrible skin, all of those things. I didn't think too much of it. They said at my first shop I worked at, they were like, Dawn is fine. They use Dawn on ducks. So if they can be used on a duck, why could it not be used on a Dawn? Or on a dog. And then they talked about, like, that it's like it's just doing all the same shit, and that these dogs are so greasy and we've got to get all this oil out and blah, blah, blah. So basically, like, Dawn is the safest thing to use. It's also supposed to be the safest thing to use on newborn animals with fleas. So, I went on my little way using Dawn for quite some time, and the more I got into my grooming career, the more I got into grooming forums on, like, Facebook and stuff, and there's a lot of really great Facebook groups. I do get asked a lot on here if I'm in those groups. I'm in pretty much every group on Facebook, but I'm always open to new groups, so if there's a new group that you think I would like, you can always let me know, and if I'm not in it, I will join it. So, anyway, I started seeing on Facebook that people were posting that Dawn says not to use their stuff on animals, and that people were saying, like, and I had long left this other job, by the way, about the one where they said, oh, it's fine, they use it on the ducks, and like I said, I took their word for it. I was still using it. I didn't know any better. So I started seeing all these people saying, hey, Dawn says not to use this stuff on dogs. Now, if you don't know anything about me, if you're just coming across this video, I'm a former cosmetologist, and I am really meticulous about following manufacturer's instructions. So if the manufacturer says don't use this for this purpose, there's probably a reason. And if you're going to do it anyway, basically you're saying fuck your rules. I'll take all the responsibility if I have a bad reaction. So basically when Dawn says we don't recommend this to be used on dogs, if you had a dog that you used it on anyway, you're like, whatever, I know better than the manufacturer. You use it on the dog. Let's say the dog, you get it in their eyes or something crazy and have like some crazy like chemical burn in their eyes, or maybe they like react really bad to something, like it really dries out their skin that was like already dry and there's like cracking and bleeding or something crazy like that. When Dawn says they don't recommend it be used on dogs, if you were to be taken to court and you were using that product, basically you're going to lose because the manufacturer is not going to have your back. And you just used something that wasn't recommended to be used on animals. So when I heard that they're saying, oh, you don't use this stuff on animals, I was like, well, I've got to find out for myself. So I called them and they told me, no, we don't think that you should use our stuff on animals. Basically what they explained was that these ducks that they're using the Dawn on, they're affected by oil spills. So basically, the oil that they are coated in will kill them long before any irritation from Dawn would kill them. And again, I just want to reiterate, using Dawn on a dog is not going to kill it, okay? Like, at worst, you might see, like, some skin infections or whatever. Like, I'm not saying that if you put Dawn on a dog, you're going to get a chemical burn and the dog's going to die and you're going to get sued. I'm not saying that. I'm telling you, you should protect yourself and not use products that are not recommended on an animal, because we all know, I'm assuming if you're on here watching, you're probably a groomer, and you know the people in the animal-related field, we do not work together right now, and if a vet were to find out this dog went to the groomer, it had a bad reaction, they're going to blame the groomer. And if you're using products that are not even recommended for an animal, that's really not going to reflect very well on you. So again, let's go back to the ducks. They were affected by an oil spill. So again, using the Dawn dish soap is not going to affect them as much as being covered in oil. This is the same thing as kittens and puppies that are severely infested with fleas. The flea anemia and the fleas will kill them long before the irritation from Dawn will. So there's some give or take, there's exceptions for every rule. What I'm saying is, in a grooming shop where we are not dealing with puppies or kittens or oil spill dogs, we should not be using Dawn on dogs. Now, let's talk about what Dawn is meant to clean. So if you go to Dawn's website, they say it works on appliances. It works on tough grease. It works on stains. It works on rims and tires, greasy cabinets, stovetops. You know what's not on that list? Dogs. So let's talk about what that Dawn is doing. The Dawn is a very, very harsh surfactant. I would be willing to bet it's probably closer to a 14 on that pH scale. I bet it's at least an 11. And you know what? That would probably be a fun video. I'm going to get some of those pH test strips and maybe, oh, that's such a good idea. We'll do a pH video and we'll test all the shampoos. That's such a good idea. So don't you steal my idea. We're going to know. I have it documented right here. But anyway, so Dawn is a really high pH. So it's going to go in and strip all of that oil out. All of it. It's going to strip out all of that natural sebum that coat needs. And when you're talking about an overly greasy dog like a Yorkie, let me tell you what stripping that oil does. Okay, so when the coat is producing a ton of oil, it thinks that the skin is too dry. So when you go in and you strip all of that oil out and you don't put anything back with conditioners or anything like that, you freak that system out. The Yorkie's skin is now like, holy shit, I made all this oil and it's all gone. Like, I've got to make more. So that's why you'll notice they'll come in greasier every single time, is because you are stripping that oil and not putting it back. The skin needs oil. That's why it's producing it. So instead of just stripping it and not replacing it, use a mild conditioner. But that's a story for a different day. But anyway, the Dawn, it advertises less scrubbing. So what does that mean? That means it's probably a harsher surfactant. It's going to just do the job for you. You don't have to sit there and scrub because it's going to cut through that shit like no problem. So that's going to, when it cuts through all that, it's stripping everything out. Like even the stuff that you need. And the thing is there's so many deep cleansing shampoos out there on the market that there's like literally no reason to be using dish soap on a dog. And just think about the prices that we charge for grooming. Like I'm mobile, my new price for a haircut is $85. Like I'm not going to charge you $85 and then use dish soap on your dog. Like I'm going to use specialized shampoos that are formulated for dogs that are going to help improve their skin and coat. That's what I look for in a product. And I did want to add in as I said, I did call Dawn and they told me not to use it on animals. I told a couple people that, they were like, eh. So I messaged them on Facebook. I'm going to go off to the side right now. I'm going to put their message right here where I asked them, I said, I've been seeing a lot of groomers using this. For fleas and stuff, is this something that you would recommend to be used? And they said flat out, we have not tested our stuff to be used on animals. Basically, we don't recommend it. So again, that means if you were to have a bad reaction and it were to go to court, Dawn is not going to have your back. Whereas if you're using Hydra, you're using Quadruped, whatever, and you're using it as directed and you have a reaction, that's more on the dog or on the company maybe if they formulated their thing wrong. But if you are following manufacturer's instructions, you should be protected by that company. So that's why it's so important to always follow the manufacturer's instructions. Now, the last thing that I want to leave you guys with is their phone number, because I want you to call for yourself and ask them if they would recommend this to be something that you use daily in your shop for greasy dogs. Their phone number is 1-800-725-3296. And again, ask them if this is something that you should be using in your regular grooming salon on the dogs. Because I do use Dawn to wash some of my equipment, like my table and stuff, to get like some of the dirt and debris off of there. You can use Dawn. But ask them if you should be using this on a dog. And I'm fairly confident they're going to tell you no. So it's really something to keep in mind. Like I said, we're very easily tricked by marketing. We see these ducks on the front of their packaging. We're like, oh, they're using it on ducks. You know, ducks seem a lot more sensitive than dogs, so if they're fine with Dawn, then why aren't the dogs? And again, the ducks are in an oil spill, and they're also getting this done like one time ever, and as long as they don't get another oil spill, they should never be washed with Dawn again. So, because like the Dawn can really mess them up too. I believe birds, and like I'm not a bird person, so correct me if I'm wrong, I think they have natural oils that are supposed to help keep water off of them when it's raining. Like it helps it to like run off of their wings. So that's something that the Dawn would strip right out. So basically what I'm saying, Dawn is not meant to be used on dogs. And I think that's what I'm going to title this video. But anyway, I hope that this like cleared up some misconceptions about Dawn and maybe about how like the skin works. I am going to be doing more of like a cosmetology related series. Again, I think I mentioned earlier that I am a former cosmetologist. I started in hair school. I got my license in 2012, kept it until 2015, which was about the time I switched to dog grooming full time. So I have all this knowledge from hair school, and I plan on sharing it with you guys. If you follow me on Instagram, we've been talking about cosmetology stuff every day. I've had a lot of requests to bring it to YouTube, so I figured that Dawn would be a good place to start, because that's one that has really bothered me for a long time, and I think it's also because I do have this guilt of, like, I used to use it on the dogs too, not knowing better. So the best thing I can do is show you guys so that we don't all keep making the same mistakes. So anyway, this is why I will not use Dawn on a dog, and I don't think that you should either. I hope this helped. I love you guys. Dawn, take the ducks off your packaging. It's very confusing. You're misleading people. If you don't want it to be used on animals, then don't have animals on your packaging. You know, the oil spill thing, like, yeah, it still happens, but like they put it all over their packaging and it became this really big thing after that BP oil spill, which was like when I was in high school over 10 years ago. And it's just not really relevant right now, and it's very misleading to have those ducks on there. Like, your main, like, we're not buying your soap to go clean oil spill ducks. So, like, can you not put, like, appliances on there? Like, something that you would actually clean with Dawn. Like you say on your website, it cleans appliances, grease stains, cabinets, stovetops. You couldn't think of any of these things off of your site where you listed all the things it would clean. You can't pick a single one of those things and put it on your packaging instead of a duck. That's just my thought. So anyway, I hope this helps. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.